Welcome to our channel. In today's video, we're unveiling advanced training techniques designed to elevate your fitness routine. Whether you're aiming to break through plateaus or achieve new levels of performance, these expert tips will guide you. Join us as we explore cutting-edge methods to enhance your training. Let's dive in. Once we have decided on the basic training variables, there are many ways to make our training far more interesting. We call these advanced training techniques, and not only will they mix things up, but they can also greatly increase the benefits of your training, helping you to break through barriers and smash plateaus. The training principles of overload and progression are combined to create the principle of progressive overload. This simply means that training needs to get progressively harder. We want to adapt and find things easier, but we also want to keep pushing forward without injury. Therefore, we overload the body with stress to invoke adaptations, but we do this progressively, little by little, to ensure we don't sustain injuries. Progressive overload is fundamental to all training. Advanced training techniques. Back-down sets. Back-down sets are by far my favorite method of strength training and are an optimal way to include both heavy loads and high volume on the same movement. A back-down set is the term used for sets performed at a lighter weight after the initial sets at a heavier weight are completed. Although the previous heavy sets cause fatigue, they also potentiate the neuromuscular system, prime it. Therefore, the moderate loads used for the back-down sets often feel much lighter than they would if heavier loads were not lifted prior. This is referred to as PAP, post-activation potentiation. Tempo. When lifting weights, intent is key and is the first step in maximizing your training. When it comes to the development of strength and power, we want to lift hard and fast, capitalizing on both the mind-muscle connection, consciously thinking about the muscle being worked, and compensatory acceleration, lifting as hard and as fast as you can through the full range of motion. However, one way to dramatically increase the intensity of a set is by slowing down the tempo, which refers to the speed of the lift. Slowing down the tempo is ideal for building muscle and laying a solid foundation. Supersets. Supersets involve 2 exercises back-to-back, while a tri-set involves 3 back-to-back, and a giant set involves 4 or more back-to-back, often described as 3 or more. Once you get past 4 or more exercises, you are essentially getting into the realms of circuit training. Variations of supersets include standard superset. This involves 2 exercises back-to-back that use the same muscle groups. For example, the bench press followed by dumbbell flies. Opposing superset. This involves 2 exercises back-to-back that are opposing muscle groups. Therefore, this is often referred to as a push-pull superset. For example, the bench press followed by bent-over rows. Lower-upper superset. This involves 2 exercises back-to-back, one of which targets the lower body while the other targets the upper body. Inset superset. This involves performing a different exercise during the eccentric phase than the concentric phase. For example, a dumbbell press during the concentric phase, followed by a dumbbell fly during the eccentric phase. The eccentric phase is far stronger than the concentric phase. Contrast loading. Contrast loading involves alternating between a heavy and lighter weight on the same exercise. This is like wave loading. However, rather than using a variety of different weights, one heavier load and one lighter load are selected for the given sets. Contrast loading can be performed in several ways. Different weight / same reps, 90% of 1 RM for 2 reps, followed by 75% for 2 reps. When the reps are not increased, more emphasis is placed on the rate of force development. Compensatory acceleration. Complex training. Complex training involves performing a strength exercise with heavy loads, 85% plus, followed by an explosive plyometric or ballistic exercise performed with body weight or low loads, working a similar movement / muscle groups. For example, 3 back squats at 85% followed by 5 box jumps. Complex training and other methods capitalize on post-activation potentiation, PAP, which refers to the increase of strength in nerve pathways that have been used previously, which in layman's terms means that the associated muscles are primed and working at full capacity. Cluster sets. Rather than performing 4 sets of 6 reps with 3 minutes rest between the sets, The lifter may perform 4 sets of 3x2 reps with 10 to 30 seconds rest between the clusters, but 3 minutes rest between the 4 main sets. For example, the lifter would take the barbell off the rack and perform 2 reps, take a 20-second rest, perform 2 reps, take a 20-second rest, perform 2 reps, and then rest for 3 minutes before the next cluster set. Pyramids. An ascending pyramid is where you perform a light weight for high reps before increasing the weight and reducing the reps. A descending pyramid is the same in reverse, where you start heavy with low reps and descend to a lighter weight with higher reps. A lifter may choose to perform an ascending pyramid and progress to descend back down it to absolutely burn the muscles out. Partial reps. A partial rep is an exercise performed through a reduced range of motion. For example, a quarter squat. This method allows the lifter to work on and potentially overload a specific point of the lift, which can help to greatly improve the entire lift. Working a muscle through a full row requires more effort and maintains/develops mobility, helping to keep the tissues in good health. Therefore, our general train tends to involve working through a full row while maintaining optimal form and accommodating for any injuries. Burns. Burns involve performing both full reps and partial reps within a set, or finishing with partial reps as a mechanical drop set. Rather than making it easier by dropping the weight, it is made easier by reducing the biomechanical stress. Pulses. Pulses involve performing full range of motion reps with pulses, small bounces, usually at the bottom of the movement. These pulses can also be performed on their own. However, this is often better described as oscillatory training. Pulses are commonly performed for a single bounce at the bottom of the movement. However, they can also be performed at the middle of the movement or even at the top. Double lockout. To perform a pulse at the top, the lifter completes the concentric phase, lockouts, before pulsing back down and locking out a second time. Negatives. Negatives involve performing a slow eccentric phase. The eccentric phase is far stronger than the concentric phase, and therefore, a lifter can drastically slow down the eccentric phase to increase the intensity before completing the concentric phase at a manageable tempo. Negatives are often performed at a weight that is much greater than the lifter can lift through the concentric phase. Therefore, a partner can help out or lift the weight entirely through the concentric phase. Thanks for watching our video on advanced training techniques unveiled. We hope these strategies help you take your fitness to the next level. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more expert tips and insights. Keep pushing your limits, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay strong.